Fat Daddy's farm was the heart of the holler, but in all my reminiscing, I can't overlook the heart of the farm. My grandma Bubba's kitchen. It was the center of the farmhouse, right where the heart should be. That's where Bubba prepared the meals that she served so lovingly. I can almost see that window fan behind Fat Daddy's chair and the old Formica table and the trusty Frigidaire. My very first cup of coffee, which was mostly sugar and cream, was consumed in Bubba's kitchen. I was 7 or 8, it seems. I used to love to watch her as she kneaded biscuit dough. It was a skill she'd long since mastered many years ago. She'd pinch off little pieces, then she'd roll and pat each one into tiny little biscuits till that clump of dough was gone. She'd pop 'em in the oven, and I waited patiently, because the first one that she buttered was especially for me. I loved to watch her make the crust for homemade apple pies. She seemed to be a master chef through my adoring eyes. Hands as tough as leather, from years of work and wear, could lift a pie crust, paper thin, without a single tear. Every day of Bubba's life was filled with many chores. She'd slop the pigs, she'd milk the cows, and she'd cook 3 meals, of course. She'd work that garden, she'd pick and hoe and mend and make and do. You'd think all that would wear her out by the time her day was through. But that old woman, tough as nails, would still find time to bake. Leather hands would turn to silk when my Bubba made a cake. 4 little elbows on the table and our hands beneath our chins. Anticipation filled the eyes of myself and Ricky Glenn. As she poured the batter in the pans, she'd hum a gospel tune. Then she'd leave a little in the bowl and hand us each a spoon. The only remnants of our treat by the time that we were done were sticky hands and faces. Not a lick was left, not one. I recall a certain incident that stands out amongst the others to which no one else bore witness save myself and my grandmother. Hog killing day was one day gone and Bubba's pressure cooker whined. I was drawing pictures at the table where the Sullivan family dined. Then that cooker, full of chitlins, began to sputter and spit. And before we had a chance to run, the top blew off of it. Bubba charged that angry cooker, and I jumped up from my chair. There was chaos in the kitchen, and there were chitlins everywhere. They soared like little missiles as they erupted from the pot. They splattered when they landed, and boy, those things were hot. When at last the chaos ended, we both plopped down and sighed. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and we laughed until we cried. When I recollect those days gone by, I find myself just itching to make just one more memory in my Grandma Bubba's kitchen. Though the heart of Fat Daddy's farmhouse has gone with the passing of time, that young girl held its memory dear, and it lives in this heart of mine.